Hey, what's up, folks? Welcome back to this week's Dan Sperry anti-conjuror live chats. This is the second one. We did the first one last week. The first one coming back, I should say, was last week, and we're gonna keep it up here for doing it weekly, just like we used to do the Dan Sperry live show. We used to do it every week, and we're bringing it back. So here we are. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for coming to check this out. I appreciate it, and since we're here, just getting started, I would also appreciate it if you guys went ahead and liked and shared this live video across all of your platforms, so we can get this fun and exciting little project, little weekly thing that we do. Yeah, that's about it. Like I said, appreciate you guys tuning in. Thanks for coming back. We took yesterday off because of the fundraiser show. Those of you guys that follow me on social media besides just this Facebook page, if you follow me on like Instagram or Twitter. I don't really use Twitter anymore, but it posts automatically to my Twitter, so it's like whatever. But I was part of a really cool live streaming fundraiser show that my buddy Greg Fruin up in Canada put together, and it was also a fundraiser for the SPCA up there in Niagara Falls, where he's from. So if you guys checked it out, I appreciate it. I got a quick clip that I'm going to show later that I did from the show. And so usually, well, back in the day, we used to do these on Wednesdays. If you guys, those of you that have watched and followed for that long, we used to do this on Wednesdays. But I think we should change the day, because once we're out of this quarantine, in hopefully sooner than later, I'm going to have to be going back to doing my weekly close-up show here in Vegas, Black Magic Wednesday, which, if you guys don't know about it, you should go to blackmagicwednesdays.com. It's my close-up show that I do exclusively. This is the only place where I do this show, is here in Vegas. It's at one of my favorite bars downtown. It's called the Griffin, and we only allow 40 people in this sort of secret room. And the only way I can describe the Griffin is it's this pub bar. It's downtown on East Fremont. So those of you that have been to Vegas, you know Fremont kind of is like it's got like all like the bucket drummers and the people like that, street performers. That's the word I was looking for. Street performers, and once you get past that, once you go east of East Fremont, you cross Las Vegas Boulevard. You'll get to kind of what I guess is the more artsy part of downtown Vegas, and that's where I do it, is at the Griffin. We've been doing it. We're going to be coming on 2 years now. This summer, this July 25th, actually is when we will be celebrating our second, I guess, anniversary. I guess anniversary is the correct word for it. So I recommend, and I hope that any of you guys that make it to Vegas anytime come to see me at the Griffin. We only allow 40 people. This is a picture of the Griffin you can see right here. This is kind of what it looks like. I describe the pub as like a Harry Potter meets CBGB's. So it's got like this really cool like vibe to it, I guess you could say. Vibe, that's the right word, perhaps. Really cool vibe. And it has and it has like this, as you can see in like this picture here, it's got these like really cool I don't know what you'd call it, but like fire pits, I guess, like a fire pit. It's got this really cool fire pit that they have, and they'll put fires in there, and they have a really great full bar. And your ticket, actually, speaking of which, your ticket includes a free drink, which is something that we've been doing for a while, and it seems to be working out quite well, quite frankly. And so yeah, the show runs just a little over an hour, and you can come and check it out. There's a better picture of the Griffin. But like I said, Black Magic, and great bartenders too. Yeah, you're right, exactly. I see it in the chat. Great bartenders too. This is what the Griffin looks like. So there's a secret back room in there. We only let 40 people in the back, and it's secluded and closed off, and we totally changed it up and everything. So anyways, so that's what we're going to be going back to doing once this thing is lifted, this quarantine thing. So I'm thinking about now actually moving these weekly live chats back to a back to Tuesdays, I think, because Wednesdays I'll be doing this. Thursdays it starts to get closer to the weekend. Let's be honest, people like to celebrate Thursday, so to try to do this in the afternoon, evening on a Thursday. Oh, thank you, Courtney. You saw the show with the Griffin. Awesome. I'm glad you liked it. If you haven't, any of you guys in the chat that have seen me anywhere, like at the Griffin or whatever, and want to jump on TripAdvisor and look up Black Magic Wednesday and leave us a nice review, throw 5 stars up on there, that would mean a lot. I'm actually going to drop the TripAdvisor link in the chat right now. So there's the TripAdvisor link. You can see I dropped it in right there. Oh, thank you, Pamela. You saw it too. Great. If, like I said, anybody that wants to jump in on the TripAdvisor, that really helps us because we don't advertise it. We don't really promote it. We don't have magazine ads. We don't have a street team. We don't do any of that. We just do it strictly through social media and word of mouth. So things like this TripAdvisor reviews and all that does really help us with the show. So anyway, so we're gonna I'm probably gonna be moving this back to Tuesdays. And so this week too, just to get this stuff out of the way, this week as well, as I'm sure you noticed, we added we made the time a little bit earlier because I know there's a lot of people watching from like Europe and overseas Germany. I know there's a lot of you guys, the German Africa bastards in the chat. So and so hopefully this will work out at 3 o'clock. This is 3 o'clock Pacific time in the States. So let me know your thoughts down in the chats over there if this works for you guys to be if we keep this live at 3 p.m. Pacific USA time. I think that's how I'm going to do this. And I'm going to start throwing these up on YouTube as well. So if there's any time you guys miss a week or something like that, not only can you watch this playback in my Facebook, but also in YouTube. So there's that. So last week I had done some homework recommendations, right? One of them was the Corey Feldman documentary, but apparently I was told that has been taken down, or it's actually hard to find or hard to get a hold of it. And so I guess we're going to skip over that, talking about that this week, the Corey Feldman documentary that came out about a month ago. Instead, we're going, one of the other homework assignments was watching this documentary that I love called Wrinkles the Clown. I'm not sure how many of you guys I'm not sure how many of you guys have looked it up or watched it. It's a really great documentary. I really wish that I would have thought of this idea, honestly, and I think Tony Jacobs, it was never actually shown. It wasn't shown in the theaters because I was able to watch it for free on YouTube. And that's how I was able to watch it. You can actually watch it for free on YouTube. So I think like some of those free resources have taken it down. I know his live broadcast of it that people were paying for had like technical difficulties, and the documentary didn't come through. Rinny, you couldn't find Wrinkles the Clown either? Weird. That's very interesting. But for those of you that don't know what Wrinkles the Clown is, or want like a refresh, or not a refresh, sorry, a freshen up of Wrinkles the Clown, I'm gonna pull that up right now. This is the you can see the cover of the DVD right here. This is the Wrinkles the Clown, I guess, promotional graphic, promotional DVD of the documentary. It's actually really great. It's not what you think. It ends up having a really great, I think, a really great twist in the end. And it's a twist that I find very very interesting. It is okay, James. It is on Netflix. Okay, I got it off of Amazon, I think. I don't really remember. But here's the
Hey, Wrinkles, I need you to come get these kids.
This is the trailer. That's what I'm looking for.
I found out about Wrinkles through a news story.
Meet Southwest Florida's Wrinkles the Clown. Hi, Wrinkles. I'm a reporter at the Washington Post.
I'm a reporter at the Naples Daily News.
I've just seen your story blow up online.
You can call him, he'll scare people for you.
Sorry, you've reached Wrinkles the Clown.
You're scaring little people that can't defend themselves.
I'll take this baseball bat and beat your brains in.
You don't know if he's trying to do this for fun or trying to kill you. It's like a boogeyman situation.
Oh my God!
We know that there's a human underneath, and yet you don't know his identity, and that creeps people out.
You better be afraid of Wrinkle. He's real.
By calling him, you're essentially inviting him into your life.
What was different about this was the viral nature of the social media.
There's 2 people in his body, a multiple personality. He's been working like this for 65 years.
Who are you and why are you doing this?
People have made a ritual out of calling him.
The fear would overtake us.
You know, no one was hiring me when I was just a regular clown. I just thought, hey, you know, maybe I'll give it a little edge.
Sorry, you've reached Wrinkles the Clown. Leave me a message, I'll call you back.
Guys, there's something outside.
So there's Wrinkles the Clown. Looks crazy, right? It's a really great documentary. It's a social experiment. I'll give that much away, because so the whole premise is that it's almost like a psychological spanking mechanism. That's the only way I know how to describe it. It's like a psychological spanking mechanism for kids. Is this documentary talking about how just this sort of folklore, this rumor, or whatever you want to call it, the story of this clown called Wrinkles the Clown, which is this terrifying, scary clown that if like kids won't listen to their parents, if they don't make their bed, if they don't finish their peas for dinner, the parents will be like, listen, if you're not good, I'm gonna call Wrinkles and he'll come and get you. You know, Wrinkles is coming for you. And so so that's sort of what the story and backstory is. And there were these stickers that just said, as you probably saw in the what is that called? Trailer. Oh my God, why am I blanking on the name of that? In this trailer, let me see if I can find a link to a sticker that we're kind of. I believe, if I remember right, this started in like southern Florida, which obviously, I mean, look at this. Like, hello, Florida. Yeah, no, I gotta be. I almost dropped a 4-letter word. I gotta be careful of that. I can't say that. But you know, like, of course, you know, Florida people, you know, thought of this, or some dude in Florida thought of this, and that's. Listen, I go to Florida a lot. I love Florida. That's not a dig at people in Florida, but so like it started right with these stickers, this like verbal viral sort of thing where there were these stickers lying around, and you can see here. So like here's a sticker, right? That's what the sticker looked like. That is the phone number. If you want to, you can try calling it right now. Like you can totally try calling that phone number, and you can call Wrinkles and potentially talk to him. That there's nothing that guarantees you will actually get to speak to the actual Wrinkles. Wait, this side, Wrinkles the Clown. But you can tell by the voice. He's got that sort of Bob Bell, Bozo, Krusty the Clown voice. And so what would happen is, it became this thing where parents use it like I said, like a psychological spanking mechanism. So if the kids are bad, they're gonna call Wrinkles. And then they started making these like reaction videos like on YouTube and stuff, and post them on Facebook, and it started going nuts. Like it just went viral of these, like you saw again in the trailer, you saw there's these clips of these children freaking out. And you're right, Jamie, he probably is quarantined. And these kids like freaking out over Wrinkles, and so this documentary is about this whole story of how this thing just blew up. and then like the death, because people took it serious. Because I'm sorry, there's going to be spoilers. There's some spoilers here. There is a big twist in the end, but the it's not serious. Wrinkles doesn't come to your house. Parents don't like leave money in an envelope in the mailbox for Wrinkles to come and scare the children. But it's still it's a very interesting idea, in my opinion. I think it's a cool idea. Wrinkles the Clown. So if you can find Wrinkles the Clown on Amazon or maybe it's on Hulu. I think people in the chat here are saying like you can't really you can't find it so much anymore. But it's out there. I mean, you can get it on DVD even, and all that, all these, all the different sources. There's the sticker one more time, and the phone number. Obviously, those of you that know, I guess, area codes, that is a Florida phone number. I've called it several times. I find it awesome. I love calling Wrinkles, but that's just me. That's just me. I love calling Wrinkles, and I actually, when I was just on tour in Florida. About a month and a half ago, before all this came down, I actually called Wrinkles several times and tried to reach out and contact him because I wanted to invite him to the show and give him comps and just like meet him and shake his hand. And I promised him I won't tell anybody who he actually is, but still it didn't change anything. He never called back. So anybody that's watched the documentary, I think it's great. Hopefully you can agree with me that because people have been saying like, oh, this is cruel. You can't do this to children. This is just evil. And I don't think so. I don't think it is because most of, again, I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but basically a lot of like those children's reactions and stuff were set up. Were set up. And made for the viralness. The video of him crawling out from under the bed of the little girl, sorry, spoiler alert, that was set up. It was all to perpetuate this legend, this like urban legend of Wrinkles the Clown. So check it out. That was a quick review of the homework for this week. Also, this was what I was involved with last night. Moving on, this is what I was involved with yesterday. It was a really great fundraiser that a buddy of mine, Greg Fruin, was doing. He lives in Niagara Falls. It was in association with the SPCA. It was me and a bunch of other magicians doing like a video cast, getting tuned and beamed in from all over the world, sharing magic as part of this show. You can still go to donate. It was a free show. It's free to watch. You can find it on YouTube. You can find it on Greg's on Greg's Facebook. It's Greg Fruin Theater. So I would just I'm gonna put the web link in the chat. You can go to gregfruintheater.com. This was the second one. The first one was such a success. He did another one, and I was happy and honored to be asked to be a part of the second one that we did. And as part of that, like I said, everybody's sort of submitting different tricks and routines to share. Everybody did one like routine, that sort of thing. So this is technically, I think, what would be considered one routine. It's a combination of two routines, but it's a bit long. Maybe I won't play the whole thing, but I wanted to share with you guys because I haven't posted this video. This is a routine that I've been working on for a long time. It's a close-up magic routine, but some of you guys have seen it in my touring show where I've done it there. But I still wanted to share it with you guys. So let me see, where did I end up putting that? I had it queued up, but now I lost it. Give me 1 second, maybe. Where is it? Man, I thought I was doing so good. This week, and now I can't find where I rendered out. There it is. Okay, sorry, I couldn't find where I rendered out the video. So check this out. This is the coin video. Okay, screw that noise. Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear audio with that, or maybe it was just me. I don't hear anything as I'm looking at this and testing it out. So I think it got rendered without audio. If you guys could hear anything during that clip, there was no audio, right? Okay, then never mind. I'm not gonna force you guys to sit through that in silence. I mean, it's bad enough watching it with music to some degree. So never mind. But I'm gonna upload it. I'll re-upload it and drop it on the Facebook here with just there wasn't anything. Yeah, see, that's weird because I could hear the Wrinkles the Clown trailer. I could hear that. I could hear all the stuff in that, but I don't know what happened there. I think I accidentally rendered it out without any audio. Whoopsie doodles. So never mind. Moving on to next thing on the list. Right, next thing on the list. So, what sort of with all these live stream things, just as I'm sure many of you guys, everybody's kind of getting into different things in this quarantine, doing a lot of live chats, live shows like I did with Greg. I actually started something new that I haven't done before. I've had this idea for a while. And those of you that subscribe to my YouTube channel will know that this came out, and so it's if you have, and also if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'll drop it in the chat right now. It's just youtube.com Dan Sperry Official. Let's spell it right there. Oh, thank you, Kyle. So you saw it. You saw the Matrix. Anyways, it's called the Matrix. Is this coin routine that I was talking about? But anyway, so go to my YouTube and subscribe because I'm also starting this new weekly thing called Anti-Conjuror Storytime. I'm not sure if any of you guys caught it or saw it at all yet, but it's basically where each week I read old children's stories, and I don't pre-read them. The ones that I've already filmed and taped so far, these are books I vaguely remember because I inherited them when I was really young. These were children's books that I had, and they belonged to like my dad or my uncles, older family members, and just kind of held on in the family. And I found them as I was going through a lot of boxes, stuff like that. And so I thought, like, what could I do with some of these old books? And so I started reading one, and it was the one that I opened with, the Rudy Kazudi the Detective book. That's the one that I started reading initially. And I thought, wow, these books, because they're so old, some of them are like from the 50s, even as far back as the one I'm going to be reading this week is from 1950. And some of you guys might remember these books. Okay, David, you say you remember these books. They're actually put out by Disney back in the day, and they're called what is it? It's called Little Golden Books. I'm not sure if you guys remember these. I have the one that I'm going to share as a teaser for the one that's coming, that's going to be releasing next, this week's video. But I'm not gonna put it up just yet. But yeah, the anti-conjuror story time was something that I had this idea for, and I've been wanting to incorporate it into like a series, I guess, and do this. And so I sat down and I collected all the books, and we put together Anti-Conjuror Storytime right here. And so you can subscribe to it. The new one's going to be going live this weekend, the next one. And so I wanted to bring a little taste, just a little taste that you guys, if you haven't seen it yet, that's one thing, if you don't mind, logging on to my YouTube account, again, give it a follow, all that, and then subscribe to it, give it a follow, subscribe to it, check out the videos, share the videos. I'm trying to actually get this to potentially go viral. Little did I realize a buddy of mine in LA sent me a video link of Tom Hardy reading children's stories. So yeah, had no idea Tom Hardy was doing that when I decided to do it. It was just weird coincidence. But I wanted to bring and share a clip so you guys can see what I've been doing. So, thank you, Pamela. Thank you. Oh, hey, Joanna. Thank you for and hey, cousin David. What's up, man? Thanks for. I saw you shared it. Thanks for giving that a share and a post. So, here's a little taste of what Anti-Conjuror Storytime looks like.
Oh, hello. I didn't hear you come in. And welcome to Anti-Conjuror Storytime with me, Shock Illusionist Dan Sperry, the Anti-Conjurer. On today's episode, we're going to be reading the golden children's book classic, Rudy Kazudi, the Detective. This came out in 1955. That was a way long time ago, boys and girls. Much, much longer before your old pal Dan Sperry was even born. So sit back and relax, get settled, and I hope you enjoy it. Rudy Kazudi, the Detective, by Steve Carlin. It was a bright, sunny day in Kazudi land. Rudy Kazudi was having a rousing game of baseball with Gala Poochie Pup.
So yeah, so there you go. There's a little taste of Anti-Conjuror Storytime, and that was a book called Rudy Kazudi, the Detective. And yeah, Dan Scott, yeah, I'm taking requests. I've gotten, some of you guys have actually already messaged me or emailed me your requests, and I'm looking into how to get a hold of some of these books. Some of them are so old. It's crazy. So here's a quick preview of the one that's coming. This one actually was printed, what was it? It was a while ago. This copyright, I think it was 1950. Where was it? Might be in the back. I can't remember. I looked this one up. This one came out in 1950. This little golden book. This one is called Brave Cowboy Bill. So this is the one that I'll be reading. This is the next one to come out. Let me get rid of that third. Brave Cowboy Bill. This is the one that like I said, this is what's coming up for this weekend, getting released this weekend. Brave Cowboy Bill, and it's this one shocked me quite a bit actually, which as I'm sure you can imagine was a surprise. But like I said, I don't pre-read these, so when I'm reading them, you're hearing me react to it in real time. But you had this one, David, yeah. So this one gets way out there, but. All that aside, I remember even as a kid, I loved these the illustrations in here. I'm not sure if you can really see that so good, but these illustrations were crazy. And I just these the colors, I think it just has that classic vibe thing to it. Jamie, you don't like the art? I don't know what it is. There's something about the art that I really like. But this is so this is Brave Cowboy Bill. And I'm going to give you guys a taste of it. It goes, of all the hands on Bar H Ranch, the bravest was Brave Cowboy Bill. He wore tight boots with heels that high and a 10-gallon hat that hid one eye and sheepskin chaps with flaps. He named his pony Golden Arrow, and every day with a clip and a clop, he rode to the highest mountaintop. See, and then it's just all this weird images and illustrations, and then the story gets weird and pretty out there. Yeah, gets a little out there, little interesting. So tune in and subscribe to my YouTube for Anti-Conjuror Storytime for this week's Anti-Conjuror Storytime. Anyways, and oh right, I was gonna tell the clown story. So the clown story was, yes, I did have time. Some of you guys might have heard this. I've told it in various interviews and stuff. But I do have somewhat of a clown story. I did start out as a clown, just for a very short period of time, just like 1 or 2 gigs. And it was back when I was younger. I was filling in for a guy that was a clown, but I was doing magic tricks, and I wanted to start doing shows, and he wanted me to fill in for him because he was getting out of the business, so people were calling him for shows. He didn't want to do it, so he would refer it to me. But I was like a little kid, right? I didn't know anything about anything. But because they were calling him, they wanted a clown, but I wasn't a clown. But to just sort of get the gig, I was like, sure, I can be a clown. No idea how to be a clown. So I went and I bought like a cheap, like really cheap makeup kit from, there was like a little local costume shop in St. Cloud, Minnesota. Trying to remember what it was called. Invincible costume, that was it. It was called Invincible. Because I remember I thought it was Invisible costume. And I always thought Invisible costume would maybe be a cooler name. I don't know. But Invincible costume, that's what it was called. And so with Invincible costume, it was a little costume shop, and I got like this really cheap, crappy makeup kit and a really big oversized tie, right? And pirate socks. That's right, I had pirate socks. And so and then at like Goodwill, I found this jacket, this striped jacket, and my dad had what was like a bald cap, right? Like a clown bald cap, but usually they're like elastic or something. This one was hard plastic, and it had a nose that came down like this. It had a nose that came down in front, but what it was attached, right? But the nose part had broken off. So instead of just painting a nose on my real nose with the terrible clown makeup, we stapled the nose back on across the bridge of because the headpiece came down to like here, right? And the nose would come down and it had this big clown nose. And so this had broken up. So we stapled, like my dad and I stapled it across the bridge of the nose. So they had these staples going across here, like terrifying, right? And then and it had like this red hair that hung down, but it was super stringy, almost like a mop, almost like yarn, like a mop, right? And that hung down, and that was just gross. And then I put the makeup on, but I didn't know what I was doing. I just drew garbage on my face, put this terrible jacket and big tie, and I had like wind pants, like workout pants, those nylon slippery. I forget what that. Wind pants. I don't even remember what they're called. So I had those from gym class in school, and I tucked those into the pirate socks. So the pirate socks kind of went up my calf, and I tucked the pants in, and I wore my Converse All-Stars because I thought they kind of looked like clown shoes. And then I had this terrible outfit, and it was like 4 hours of close-up magic at a company picnic in July, Minnesota, in the humidity. I was sweating, I was dying. $20. The makeup was sweating down off my face. It was the worst thing ever. So that was that was my experience with the clown story. Maureen, I don't know what I call them parachute pants, but I can't, like windbreaker pants. What were the like workout those? I can't even remember what that material's technically called, but that was that was that. It wasn't fun. That was my first like getting my feet wet sort of experience in performing and doing shows and all that fun stuff. So that's how do I have April Collins? Do I have pictures? Yeah, there are pictures somewhere. I need to actually. I don't have them close by. I don't have them handy. So I'll have to look it up actually. But talking about doing shows and things like that, this is where we're gonna dial it up to 11 right now and get interactive because it's time for some new magic. So get excited. So it's new magic time. This is where, if you guys remember last week, I believe it was last week. I did something, and it has to be through the screen. So anybody in the chat right now, I'm gonna need some help with this because, and again, I'm not sure how this is gonna work. I'm not sure how good this is gonna go. But we'll see. So I'm gonna need somebody to basically pick a card through the screen. Okay. So I'm gonna start though. I have to actually, to start this, I have to make a prediction. I just have to first find the deck of cards. Here they are. All right, so new magic. So that card, someone is going to be the pick a card person through the screen with the card trick. So somebody, I know we got a bit of a delay, so this is going to be weird. and might not work. Again, this is always the hardest part, going through the chat like this, going through the screen. There's gonna be delay. So hopefully this works, and obviously through the screen this could be set up with any of these people, but I swear to God, hand to God and granddad, this has not been set up through the screen. So okay, Maureen, I'm gonna use you. Maureen Bilela, sorry, I'm probably saying it wrong. You are going to be helping, Maureen. Here's what's gonna happen. First, I'm actually gonna make a prediction. So I'm gonna write a prediction on the box. We'll worry about the cards in a minute. So you're gonna pick a card from the cards instead, though. But first, I'm gonna make a prediction of what card I think you're going to pick. I'm gonna write it on the front on the box here. I'm gonna write it on the face of the box. Let's see. I'm gonna say. My art looking so good. 5 of hearts. See, that's my terrible 5 of hearts. So that's what I predicted. 5 of hearts on the cover of the box. So Maureen, now that you're right here, let's get rid of this. This looks terrible. Okay, so I'm gonna put 5 of hearts, right? I'm gonna hold this in my mouth, okay? Because it has to be in full view. So, Maureen, you're gonna pick a card, right? You're gonna pick a card through the deck, okay? And so, okay, so Maureen, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna deal down cards instead, because you can't actually reach through the screen and get one. You can see different, right? You cannot reach through the screen and grab a card. So instead, I'm just gonna deal down one at a time like this. You type stop in the chat anywhere you want. Hopefully that'll make sense. I'll cut to the chase. We'll just keep going here. You say stop anywhere you want. We're gonna end up going through the deck if you don't say stop somewhere. Just type stop anywhere you want, because I'm starting to run out of cards. Okay. We'll just say this one. This is terrible. Alright. 2 of spades. That's the card you got. Interesting. Because the prediction that I made... Actually, I think I screwed this up. Did I screw this up? Hang on. Yeah. Shoot. I guess the delay... Oh, hang on. I almost had an issue with the camera. I guess with the delay, my prediction 5 of hearts did not work so good. But all I do is snap, and it actually changes to the 2 of spades, which is your card. Changes to the 2 of spades on the cellophane. You can actually see it. It's on there. It's real. Boom. The delay totally ruined it. I thought it'd be better in my head, but you get the idea. Magic show. So then it ends up being the 2 spades. So that's some new magic for this week. Much easier to do in person. See, that's why magic is best seen and experienced live, like they always say, or at least like I always say. Magic is always best and experienced live in that aspect, I guess. So now that we got magic trick time over, we're gonna go into some weird areas, just like we always do every week in the chat. We're gonna talk about some alien stuff. So I always so this week in UFO stuff, you know, this is stuff I follow and I've been watching for a long time, is all of this any sort of UFO or extraterrestrial or unexplained type events and stuff like that. I love following them. I watch them all the time and read about them all the time, and I love sharing that. Hang on, I dropped all the cards because I'm going to need them again for teach a trick time after this. And so this one, I always feel weird about this stuff when it comes off of the ISS, or the International Space Station. This is one because there's so much up there. You know, there's so much up there in orbit, like space junk, and things that fall off of other spaceships. And even the ISS itself has things that break away. Ice particles can get misinterpreted as other things, but this is one that actually looks kind of interesting that I picked out of all the ones that I've seen so far for this week's chat. Anyways, this is Yvonne 9. This one is interesting and it is weird. I'm gonna cut to it and take a look. Watch it. It's caught on footage. Watch the little strange object floating beneath the ISS. Supposedly, it flew up into the camera and hovered there for quite a while. So check this out. See what you think. So that's just like a quick clip of it. It's weird looking, right? You know what it reminded me of? It reminds me of the snow speeders from Empire Strikes Back. Remember, they were kind of like little flat. They almost looked like little bars of soap. But I don't know. Usually, like, if you've watched any of this stuff that the ISS has ever captured, they oftentimes they don't leave it on for very long. You don't get to see anything odd that flies into view. They don't leave it on for very long. They always cut the feed, or they change to a different camera. This one stayed on there, and as you can see, the guy who uploaded the video and took it from the ISS stream, he put it up and he scrubbed it for a bit so you can see it. It actually it's staying there. It's in orbit though. That's the other thing that is weird about this. It's interesting that it's not moving. It's like it's in orbit, which leads me to believe it is just kind of like general space junk. It almost kind of hovers like how the Black Knight satellite hovers. If you guys have ever seen any of the stuff about the Black Knight satellite, that's what this kind of reminds me of. It just kind of chills in orbit, almost like it's watching the ISS, and it's kind of in our orbit, I suppose, of planet Earth, right? And so this, I don't know, it just seems weird. Just seems weird to me, It's got that look. It's just weird. I'm not sold though. I'm not sold that it's actually a true UFO from another galaxy or another whatever dimension, even, because I know some people really do believe that they come from other dimensions and stuff like that. But it has an odd shape. It made it, for all we know, it could be ours. Somehow they missed it, but I can't believe that that they'd let it stay like that though. If it was true, if it was a real extraterrestrial type thing, if it was a real UFO, they would have cut that out of the feed real quick. You know what I mean? So that's why I think it leads me to believe this is something else. It's probably space junk or it's some other satellite thing. They just wouldn't let it stay on the ISS. But let me know what you guys think in the comments and in the chat below. I just find it bizarre that because it is the ISS video feed, it just I don't know. It just seems kind of peculiar, seems dodgy, because the ISS, like I said, they always like to cut the feed, say technical difficulties, or they like to say or just change to a different camera, like I was saying. Well, that's right, David. I mean, it could be something of ours, even if it's something that is reverse engineered and put up there. It almost even kind of looks like the sports model Bob Lazar talks about. If you guys don't know Bob Lazar, I highly recommend looking up some Bob Lazar footage of documentaries. There's two of them that have been out, different stuff. It's all on YouTube. You can look it up, and everything that he talked about, anything he's drawn or described, it's the red Bull balloon. Yeah, right. It you know, that's worth looking up. But it does look like something that he would have or has described in the past from when he worked at S4 out at Area 51. So yeah, look up some Bob Lazar. Definitely worth researching that. So now that I've shown you guys the trick, we've talked about this, and we're approaching the 1 hour mark. We're almost done with this week's chat. I'm going to switch it now up one more time. This is where I turn it around for you guys and teach you how to do a magic trick with the Teach a Trick Magic Time. Get excited. So, okay, so this Teach a Trick session, I'm first going to basically show you guys the gist of what the trick is. This is something you can do. Anybody can do this. This is like little to no practice whatsoever. And it, you know, things that you can get with like simple objects around the house. So you need a piece of paper. On this piece of paper, I wrote a prediction. I'm not going to show it to you yet, because somebody's going to pick a card. We're not going to go through the nonsense that I just tried to do earlier with trying to pick a card through the screen. I'll just cut to the chase, okay? So you have a prediction with a playing card written on it. You have it laying out somewhere. You can put it wherever in your pocket. I'm just going to tuck it up here for now. It's just going to go right in my Dan Bana, right up there. Okay, so then you get your deck of cards, okay? You get your deck of cards. You give it a shuffle, whatever, and then you have somebody cut to anywhere they want. So we're gonna, you know, somewhere in the middle, we're gonna give it a cut like that. They set it down on the table. That's the first step. Then you're gonna mark. You're gonna want to mark where they cut, so they you don't lose where they cut to in the middle of the deck. So you put it sideways. So you're gonna put the rest of the cards sideways on top to give it a mark, because this prediction I made. Remember, before anybody saw the cards, before I talked about it, I introduced the prediction, and that's what you say. You say, look, I wrote a prediction of a card that I think is going to be picked. I wrote it on this piece of paper, and haven't showed it to anybody. Wrote it way before I even introduced the cards, even before so-and-so, you know, whatever, even before so-and-so picked the card. I'm not, you know, whatever, little Billy, you know, picked the card. Rudy Kazuti picked the card. So there's no way I can change my mind. I'm committed to this prediction written on this piece of paper. And let's see what card was cut to. It's the King of Diamonds. That's the card. Random. It does, Tony Jenkins. It does looks like Karnak stuff, right? You know, it is the King of Diamonds. And as predicted on my sheet of paper, I wrote King of Diamonds. Ooh, magic show. Okay, so here's how you do it. Those of you guys might already know how to do this if you have my book that I put out, because I do teach it on some of the stuff that I've put out before. I did put out a little booklet that you can get on my website or on my shop, you know, dansperrystore.com. You can get it. It's called Learn the Impossible. That's what I call the book there. You can get it there, but it's a deck of cards, normal deck of cards, and piece of paper and a marker. So here's what you do. You get your piece of paper from your printer or whatever, your notebook. You pre-write King of Diamonds on it, and then you fold it up so nobody can see what's written on it, right? That's important. You don't want them to be able to see through the piece of paper as you know, when you show this to them, right? So you don't want them to see through the piece of paper. Okay, that's important. So that's your prediction. Then you need to go through the deck of cards, find the King of Diamonds or whatever. You could make it be the Knight of Diamonds or the 10 of Diamonds. Who cares? You put the King of Diamonds on the top of the deck, like that. They don't know that it's on the top of the deck. When you shuffle, you're just pulling the cards from the bottom of the deck, and then when you're done, you just put them back. Okay, so you never shuffle from the top. Got it? Never shuffle from the top. You always shuffle from the bottom. And that's it. So nobody knows the King of Diamonds is on the top. Only you. You can do like a riffle shuffle too if you need to like do that. I'm not going to try it right now because I'm afraid the cards will go everywhere. Just keep the King of Diamonds on the top. Then you're going to do what's called a crisscross force, which basically means you have somebody, imagine the cards are on the table, you have somebody cut off half the deck, however many they want. They cut that half. Then you say, we're going to mark where you cut to by taking this half and putting it on top. See how it's that's why it's called crisscross, because it's turned, it's a quarter turn, like that. So really though, this is not the center of the deck. This is still the top, right? And then this goes on top here, like that. Okay? Your traditional is 3 clubs, right? And then you take attention away from it by talking about the prediction. Talk about the prediction, you don't show it yet. Then you go back to the cards, you say, look, let's look at where you cut to. And really, people just assume because they've been looking at this sort of image for so long of the deck crisscross like this, it looks like that's the center of the pack. It just kind of messes with their memory, right? Sort of like, you know, MK Ultra, but on a very, very smaller scale. Then you say, okay, boom, you know, King of Diamonds, that's the card you landed on and that you picked. And then here's my prediction. King of Diamonds, bingo, magic show. That's how it works. It's a very simple card trick that you guys can do. And yeah, that's the easy magic trick. And like I said, you can get it of that along with other stuff. It's on my website, dansperrystore.com. That's where you can also get the book, Learn the Impossible. That's the book. I don't know why it's sitting there like that. So, weird small book photo. I don't, like I said, I'm not really sure what the hell happened there. But yeah, I'm gonna put it in the chat here. And HB dansperrystore.com, or you just go to dansperry.com. It'll link you onto the merchandise store after that. So let me check out. Let me see. I want to make sure we got to everything. Got that. Yeah, shows are still coming up. Like I said last week, you can follow me at Bands in Town. It's an app or a feature that you can follow even on Facebook here. Bands in Town. Go to bandsintown.com. Get the app. Search for me, Dan Sperry, Anti-Conjuror. Follow me on Bands in Town there, and that will tell you where I'm coming to or where I'm going in the coming months. There are shows listed there that I would appreciate you guys going to and following. You can follow me all across it. Let me see. I'm gonna put the the link. I can't talk. The link in the chat here, so that you guys can follow me on Bands in Town as well. So here's the link. It's in the chat. Boom. Yvonne, yeah, Ikaba. And that's it. So that's Bands in Town. You can follow me on there. As I was talking about Black Magic Wednesday, again, you guys can also follow Black Magic Wednesday, my weekly Vegas show, on the Facebook, which is also in the chat right there. That's the Black Magic Wednesday official Facebook. And you can give me a review on there too. And any of the places. Facebook, Yelp. I'm on Yelp as well. So if you guys don't mind going on Yelp, giving me 5 stars there. There's the Yelp and the TripAdvisor. That's, like I was saying in the beginning, this is really how the Vegas show, the Black Magic Wednesday show happens, is through word of mouth and social media. I appreciate you guys dropping a 5-star review on there. And let me know that you guys have seen, when you guys see me, what you liked about the show, that sort of thing. And tickets are on sale now because we should be, hopefully, towards the end of this thing and be able to get back to our normal stuff. So I'll be coming through California next month, and then I'll be out on the East Coast. I'll be in the Poconos, actually. I'll be doing 2 shows up in the Poconos resorts up there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Since we're just about 5 minutes to the end, let's go ahead. I'm going to turn this into Q&A time. So this is Q&A time. If you guys, because I can't keep up with all the chat comments, it's really hard to keep up. So I'm going to take a few questions now and answer them as best I can. If it's anything that I feel I can answer that I know about, if not, then we're gonna call it for this week. That's oh, thanks, Doug. That's right. Homework for next time. Sorry, homework for next week. That's the one thing I didn't plan. Do I have homework written down? Shoot, I don't. Watch. All right, we're gonna have to keep an eye on the on Instagram and on my Facebook. Maybe, you know what? I'll make it easy. This week we can have the week off. No homework. Instead, next week I'll have something. There's too much. I can't think about it right now. I don't want to sit in silence and not be able to think of something. What could be homework? I haven't really watched much of anything interesting. Actually, okay. I'll tell you what. No, let's not get weird. Okay, yeah. Here. I'm gonna look up Bob Lazar. There's gotta be, yeah, the Jeremy Corbell documentary isn't the best, but if you guys have not seen it, the Jeremy Corbell documentary on Bob Lazar, I'm gonna go ahead and drop that in the chat. That is going to be it. That's the homework. Bob Lazar documentary by Jeremy Corbell. And okay, and it is on Netflix. So there you go. Those of you guys that have Netflix, boom, let's go there. We'll have that for homework for next week. Tony Jacobs, am I doing Black Magic Wednesday in Vegas in September? Yes, for some of September. I have things that are actually already on hold and already lined up and booked for September. That are things that were rescheduled during this sort of, quarantine thing, and also things that were already booked. So I'm kind of all over in as far as September it goes, but I will be doing Vegas shows in September for Black Magic Wednesday. If you guys want to know about Black Magic Wednesday, you can find more about it on dansperry.com or blackmagicwednesdays.com. And any plans to come to the UK? Pamela Della Rosa. Not anytime soon, but because I was there, what was it, 2 years ago? I was there 2 years ago at the O2 Shepherd's Bush, and had a great time at my show there. And then if you saw it, I'm not sure if you made it to that show, Pamela, but that was I did it at the O2 Shepherd's Bush in London, and Kyle Fryman, personal paranormal story. Wow, let's try that again. Personal paranormal story. Yeah, real quick, I'll share one. I think I've shared this one before, but I grew up in a house when I was a kid. When my parents divorced, my mom moved to a house in Litchfield, Minnesota there, and so that house was haunted. The people before it that lived in it before had experiences. We had lots of experiences, and actually it's funny, Kyle. I remember when we were talking last week, we were on the phone. You had mentioned something about playing drums. We had something going on. There was lots of stuff going on in that house, but one of the things that happened was we could hear drums being played and cymbals being tapped. Like my brother, he had his drum set in the basement. It was one of those like unfinished open floor plan basements that also had the washer and dryer in there. Now the drum set was not near anything. It's not like something could have fallen and hit a drum. We did have a cat, but the cat never. We had a cat at the time. The cat never jumped up on, the drums, especially the cymbals. Those things are so unstable. You would never, we couldn't be like it was the cat pawing at the cymbal. It was too loud, unless the cat was going crazy and doing a Tommy Lee solo. I don't know. But it was too loud for the cat to be batting at it like a toy. But we could hear cymbals being tapped. And in various rhythm patterns, like it wasn't just like a metronome. It was in various speeds. We could hear that amongst other things. That was one of the more basic things that would happen. You could hear a tom getting hit, but mostly it was the cymbals for some reason. I don't know what that was about or maybe what that means. If anybody has had any sort of experience with supernatural or paranormal stuff and that means something, maybe your great grandmother was a medium back when that was a big boom and all that. Maybe that means something. I don't know. Let's see. Any plans to come back to Germany? Yes, I do have plans to come back to Germany. We already are in discussion for things in Germany. I don't want to talk about it yet, but it's for 2021 for sure. We got stuff already getting lined up for Germany, so I will be coming back with an all-new show like I've never brought to Germany before. I'm very excited about it. but I just don't want to share any more word about it just yet. Kyle McIntosh, Inventorum version 2. No, I haven't decided to put out another deck of Inventorum or version 2. I'm happy with the deck as it is, because really it's more so just a personal deck for me, and then a deck that I like to use when I do like interviews or whatever, or media stuff, and be able to leave it almost as like a fun thank you gift, you know, leave it behind at the radio station or at the whatever place where I'm doing the show or the presentation at. I like to, I think it's just a cool little keepsake memento that I leave with the people in the studio, so I can say like, hey, you know, thanks for you know, letting me come here, thanks for having me promote whatever I'm supposed to be promoting, and then I leave them with a deck of cards because it's got my logo on it. Here's the back design if you guys don't know what it looks like. That's what the Inventorum deck looks like. It's a bicycle deck of cards. It's another thing you can get at dansperrystore.com. Bingo bingo. And I'm happy with it. I like it. It's just it's a basic deck, nothing really fancy, nothing hidden about it. It's not a magic trick deck. It's just an ordinary deck of cards that happens to look really, really cool. So that's the Inventorum deck. But no, a version 2. No, nothing that you know, nothing that's coming out like that. So yeah, that's about it. We're at our hour. We're just past our 1 hour mark. So we're gonna be doing this next week on Tuesday. This time we're gonna go Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern USA time. So thank you guys for tuning in again. I want to just give a quick shout out to the First State Bank in Grove City, Minnesota. That's what this mug is from. This mug belonged to my my grandparents, and I totally nabbed it from their cupboard. And this is the mug that I'm drinking out of this week. So big thanks and shout out to the First State Bank, Grove City, Minnesota. If you guys want to look up this bank, actually there is a lot of history with this bank, the Grove City Bank. So thanks again for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and click the bell so that you get a notification when I update and upload things onto my YouTube page. Keep an eye out for Anti-Conjuror Storytime, episode 2 of Brave Cowboy Bill, coming up this weekend. So you're going to want to keep an eye out for that. And again, like I said, next week, Tuesday, 3 p.m. Eastern USA time. That's when we're doing this. So thanks again for tuning in. You guys, love you, mean it. Thanks for liking, sharing, subscribing to all this. We'll see you guys next time. Night night.